Well, hello once again, everyone. It's your boy Jingles Roscoe with another speed drawing. And today, I decided to draw one of my oldest OCs of all time. His name is Blake, also known as Brave Blaze. Here we go. So yeah, Blake. Blake is a character that I started developing in middle school. So, like, he's easily one of my oldest OCs that I've ever developed. I was starting to develop this character sheet on stream and was showing everybody the old character designs and stuff like that. Blake originally was called Flame Kid. That was his first name that I came up with many years ago. And actually, a lot of my old usernames were Flame Kid until eventually I settled on Jingles Roscoe in high school at some point. And so, like, he was a character that his old design definitely, it needed work. It's very old, and I wasn't a very good artist back in the day, and I wasn't really good at designing characters at all either. And so I'd say about 4 years ago I decided I wanted to try and redo his design, make him look better, more interesting, more iconic. There was some design elements that I wanted to keep and some that I wanted to change. The one on the right was my first attempt about 4 years ago trying to redesign him, and I liked the general idea. And then on stream we decided to try a few other things here and there. And as I was talking with the people on stream, the chat, we kind of came up with some ideas that we wanted. And as you can see, we kind of go through a few of them before we finally decide on the one that I end up keeping, which I really like. But, you know, when developing a character, your character is always going to change and evolve and be different over time. And that's okay. Like, Batman's costume has kind of stayed the same, just shape-wise, for many years. But the, like, little bits of it have changed and updated and stuff like that all throughout the years. Here I'm showing what Blake looks like when he's not in his superhero costume versus when he is. That design itself is almost completely unchanged from how he's been since I started developing him probably about 15 years ago. But his costume, his superhero costume, is what's definitely changing the most here. Because superhero costumes have changed a lot in the 15 years when I first started doing stuff started designing his character. But also, like, it wasn't a very good design at first anyway, and so updating it was definitely a priority for me. Also, just because of all the streams that S Comic Maker does, and all the people that are in there, everybody likes to draw each other's OCs in that. She's kind of developed a community of people that really like to draw for each other. And she does her request streams, but at the same time, other people that are watching her streams are also like, I want to draw people's characters too. And then it's just a big community of people showing off each other's characters and drawing them for each other. And it's really kind of an amazing thing. It was something that I really enjoyed doing when I was in high school, but I didn't get to do a whole lot back in the day because I didn't know a whole lot of other artists. Especially at my school, not a whole lot of other people that drew as much as I did. And so a lot of the people that I met were on, like, DeviantArt. I spent a lot of time on DeviantArt when I was in high school. And I met a lot of friends there. Most of them have kind of moved on from DeviantArt and have gone to do their own thing, and I've lost touch with a lot of people that I really admired and were good friends with over the years. I still am friends with a few of them, and I treasure my friendship with every one of them that I still am friends with. But it people moved on, and I started drawing more fan art. And I mentioned other speed drawing videos that I've done before that, like, the speed drawings were fan art pictures, and they have been for a very long time. That's kind of what gets attention. It's kind of what helps build channels and, gets people coming and subscribing, which is fine. But I've been burnt out from drawing so much fan art, and I just have been wanting to get back into drawing OCs again, which is why last video was the characters for Tony and S Comic Maker. And this week I wanted to draw one of my old OCs. Also, that's because of her streams, and people are like, give us OCs. I want to see your OCs so we can draw your OCs and all that. And so I was all like, well, I have one, or I have a few. I don't have very many OCs, but I have a couple. But most of them are like, their designs are really old, and I need to update them to be better looking characters. Now that I've had more experience, I'm much better at drawing than I was in high school, and I'm much better at designing characters, I think. And so Blake was definitely like top priority for, getting a redesign, a remake. And so I did, and I'm very happy with his design now. I'm very likely to keep it. I might adjust a couple things here and there, but I think the general look that I have for him right now is pretty much going to be how it is from now on. Now, Blake himself is a character that Smiter and I have developed over the years. He's my character 100%, but the story that he's in is Smiter and I share it. He is the one that definitely writes the most for it, but I feel like it's more of a collective thing rather than just he writes it, I draw it. It's more like we both write it together, and then he physically puts it down to paper, and I will draw it out. We've never really gone very far with it. We have like ideas and arcs and stuff like that planned out for it, but we came up with them when we were very young. We were still kids. We weren't very good at coming up with stories, and we just had ideas. But now that we're older and want to actually do the stuff that we've set out, we're really putting forth a lot of effort into it. And Smiter has talked about the story on stream before. The story itself is called Valor Corps, and we're still not 100% sure about the title for it, but we both really like it. But Valor Corps is our it's our superhero story that we've developed for many years, on and off, really. I think probably the bulk of the work was done with just us kind of going back and forth of, wouldn't this be a cool idea? Wouldn't this be a cool idea? And that's how a lot of our stories when we were younger kind of come together. But now that we're older, we want to take those ideas and refine them and make them better. And he's really put forth a lot of work and effort into refining and making a better story. And that makes me happy. And I'm really excited to see what other stuff we'll come up with and see if we actually put this thing into, make it official and make it an actual thing. Because I think it could be good, but also, like, superheroes are really saturating the market at the moment. And so it's one of those things where I want to do it, but I'm not 100% sure if we can / should do it. Now, Blake's design itself is definitely, there's elements here and there that are inspired by a lot of modern superhero costumes. Like a lot of current heroes and stuff, they have a particular look to them. People like Spider-Man, like I think we can all agree Spider-Man's look was pretty much nailed from the very beginning. So Spider-Man's costume is almost unchanged over the years. Like he's tried other costumes before with mixed results as to how much people actually liked the costume itself. And but his costume itself is pretty much unchanged. Same with like Batman, but Batman has had like other things here and there that just kind of have updated his look in general. And that was kind of the feel that I was going with when it came to developing Blake's costume here. There are other groups of heroes that we want to include in the story that I think would be a lot of fun to do, that kind of represent different eras in comics and like different studios that have done comics over the years. I was talking with Smiter about it. I want to develop I have this idea for a specific group of heroes, because in this story everybody's like in a team more or less. There might be a couple of individual heroes that just do things on their own, but for the most part, the way that the hierarchy is for the heroes in these stories is that there's an established system, and if you want to be a hero, you gotta be a part of this system, and you'll be assigned to a group, and you'll fight crime. You'll be assigned to like a city. There's different like levels of things that you have to defend, that Smiter was developing. There's like city level and planetary level and galactic level threats that happen. And so as the story begins, our heroes will start off as simple city level or even like street level heroes and then build up from there. And there's other teams that are assigned to different levels, depending on like how powerful they are, how well they work together, that kind of thing. And there was a team of heroes that I wanted to do that have like no powers at all. They're just really, really good, like regular people. They're really talented at like martial arts or something, and they'll be amazing because they are able to keep up with the really powerful heroes, even though they're just regular people that are in costume more or less. And there was a group that I also wanted to develop that were more or less what's the word? Oh, they're like very 90s in like how the comics were in the 90s, like big shoulder pads, lots of belts and pouches and stuff. It's very Rob Liefeld-y. I want to just make a team that looks like they were developed by Rob Liefeld, and I think that would be really funny and a good inside joke for people that are into comics and have been following comics for a very long time. But Blake's team is very modern in their style and look, is what I'm thinking. I'm still trying to develop them, still trying to develop the looks, still trying to develop the story. It's something that's going to be worked on for a very long time. But I'm very excited that I now have a modern look for Blake that I'm actually very happy with. And I'm actually really happy with the way that this particular pick turned out. I was going to do the entire character sheet as the video, but I was running out of time and I've been really tired this week, so I wanted to just draw a character piece. And here it is. This is the finished Blake for now. I might change and develop and do some other stuff over time, but for now this is the finished version. And I'll finish the character sheet itself and do all that at some other time. Thank you so much for watching, and also thanks to my patrons that I just opened up a Patreon just because I was told that things were going to be different in the way that Patreon handles stuff, so I just started the account. It's only $1 tier at the moment, but I appreciate anybody who does the $1 tier and all that stuff. Thank you again for watching. It means so much to me for everybody that watches. I hope you have a terrific day. Have a good one.